There really is such a good feeling around Manchester United at the moment. Now, this January transfer window, we all knew that we needed to bring a striker in. Anthony Martial, Ten Hag's admitted that he can't play a game every 3 days, and we pretty much got one from now until March. So Wout Weghorst is going to be that man. If Fabrizio Romano is indeed correct, and Man United have already reached a full verbal agreement to sign him, when they get that Vincent Aboubakar deal sorted, he will be joining them. Wout Weghorst already not training with Besiktas ahead of the move. What I'm going to do in this video is run through Wout Weghorst at Manchester United from a tactical perspective. I've already done a profile video taking a look at the strengths. I'm now going to apply it to Manchester United's team and take a look at how Erik Ten Hag could line up and use the strengths of Weghorst as an asset between now and the end of the season. So make sure you do drop a like on the video and subscribe, become part of the community. But it shouldn't be too long, hopefully, until we see an official version of this photo. Great Photoshop, by the way, whoever did that. But Weghorst at Manchester United. Look, Ten Hag right now has got this Manchester United team really, really flying. The momentum is excellent. The fastest ever manager to reach 20 wins in Manchester United's history. Ten Hag is doing a great job, but he needs more up front. We all know he needs more up front. And Anthony Martial, he's not fit enough to play a game every 3 days, and from a goal scoring perspective, he's not delivering at this particular moment in time. So let's take a look at a tactical position here of what would happen when Weghorst comes in. I don't personally think he's really going to come into this starting 11, okay? I think Weghorst is going to be used mainly as a substitute. There will be games, there will be situations where Weghorst does start games, where his height will be used as an asset. But the first thing I've got to tell you, which is abundantly obvious, we're signing a goal scorer. Weghorst has scored more goals than any player in this Manchester United team. And you know what sort of goals he scores? He's in the box. Ruud van Nistelrooy was the king of the penalty box. And I don't think any striker will ever compare to him. And I'm not trying to say that Weghorst is a Van Nistelrooy. But Van Nistelrooy scored most of his goals from inside the box, if not all of them. I think he might have scored a couple outside the box. Weghorst has scored just one goal from outside the box, domestic goals. 126 goals, 125 of them have come in the box. That is going to be a big asset to Manchester United, having a proper number 9 presence. And you know why that's good? Oh, I don't need to tell you the biggest strength of his game. Headers. It's just a shame that Martinez was the defender who was a couple of yards behind him there. Martinez was never going to win that header. But Wout Weghorst is going to add something massively different inside this team. Because, and I mean massively, he's huge. He's 6'6". But Weghorst in this position here, now what you're going to see, if you see the overlaps from Luke Shaw down there, and you see the overlaps from Diogo Dalot, what Manchester United have done previously when we've got into these positions is we've done this. Let's pull this bad boy up. Dalot, whenever he gets down the line there, he'll cut the ball back. Shaw, same thing down there. Normally I'm in the way here, but the same thing with players. Manchester United have been operating on cutbacks because we've not had a presence like Weghorst in the box. Now what you can see from Diogo Dalot when he cuts down the wing, when Luke Shaw cuts down the wing, you're going to start seeing more deliveries into this area. Because Manchester United's fullbacks now know, well, when he's on the pitch, that we've got a man who is going to get on the end of them. And that is going to add a different dynamic to Manchester United's attack. I'm not saying we're going to completely transform and change it straight away, but it just means that Manchester United have now got an option, whereas I don't think we had one previously. And that's the most obvious asset to Weghorst's game. The height that he's going to bring that Manchester United, simply put, don't have before. But there are other assets to it as well. And if you take a look here at his SOFA score, you can see where, look, man, he's in the box. Look at his heat map. Drops a little bit deep there. But that's where it gets a little bit interesting. Because here, this is an important part to his game. Anchor play. What Weghorst is going to be able to do inside this Manchester United team is get situations like this, for example. Let's get Shaw and Dalot back in position. Manchester United have the ball in defence here. We're playing against a team that's pressing really high. We've got no outlet. Weghorst will be able to drop deep. Manchester United will be able to knock the ball up to him here. And what he is capable of doing, we know full well he's going to win the header, but he's also capable of bringing the ball down. And then feeding it back off onto Eriksen or Casemiro, who could come onto that pass there. of feeding it maybe in behind to Anthony or feeding it in behind to Rashford there. Tactically, he will give us something, again, different that we simply don't have. Anthony Martial is good to a certain point with his hold-up play, but he's not really capable of just holding defenders off. Not in the same way that Weghorst will be able to. So again, that gives Manchester United and Erik ten Hag a massively different option that we don't have. And I think that's the biggest thing you can be excited about Weghorst is the options that he brings. I don't expect him to come and score 20 goals. I think it'll be unrealistic to expect that. As I said, if he can contribute to 10 to 15 goals, that's goals and assists, I think it's going to be considered a very good signing. It's hopefully a win-win situation. And from a profile perspective, I think this interview from Erik ten Hag and a couple of quotes I'm going to pull up also highlight another important part to Weghorst's game, which he's going to bring to Manchester United, and that is his attitude. This is what Ten Hag said after Man United beat Liverpool. Remember, that was after the games against Brighton and Brentford.
Satisfied and happy and clear. We wanted a different approach, and we have got that. I want to see a team. I want to see players who fight. And when I talk about fight, it's not only about what you're doing out of position, also in position, that you have to be brave, and also there you have to invest in runs. And I think we have seen that today all on the pitch.
Erik ten Hag there speaking about fighters. And this is something that he's said on more than one occasion. Malacia, Martinez, Casemiro, Antony are all fighters. Talks about Eriksen, talks about personalities, reiterated on separate occasions, the fighting spirit. It's one thing you're absolutely going to get in Weghorst. He's a man who has been, as I said, having spoken to quite a few people in trying to do some research on Weghorst, he's somebody who's been doubted basically his whole career. When he was at Alkmaar and the switch to the Bundesliga, when he came into the Dutch national team, he's always been the subject of criticism and the subject of doubters. So it's created this natural inner fight inside his personality. And from a profile perspective, it very much is going to fall in line with what we're seeing, this new fight at Manchester United with Martinez and Casemiro, Antony and everybody. He very much fits that profile. So that in itself is going to be a good facet. It means he will suit the team. He will suit what Ten Hag's demands are. And there's a really big and important one, and arguably the most important aspect of Weghorst's game, which will really slot into what Ten Hag is trying to do with this team. Because if you take a look at this, you might not be able to see the top of that, but that says counter pressing. It just doesn't fit on my screen. Counter pressing in the Premier League. So if the two axes here on the right hand, on the bottom axis, is the counter press success rate. And this is how many. So a counter press is when you win the ball back in the opposition's half within 8 seconds of losing it. Manchester United have won our counter presses more than any other team in the Premier League. City sit in second with Arsenal third. Now, Arsenal, Liverpool and Brighton have all been more efficient in turning those counter presses when you win the ball back, turning it into a goal-scoring opportunity. Well, it leads to a shot. So we've got to be a little bit better than that. But Man United, we are the best at pressing. That really surprised me. Well, not surprised me, but it's really indicative of how well Ten Hag has this team drilled now, and also exactly where Weghorst will fall in line. Sky Sports with these stats here. When he played for Burnley in the Premier League, there was no player who pressed more than he did per 90 minutes. 48 presses per 90 minutes when he was at Burnley. Now, they got relegated. He only scored 2 goals, but he hardly fucking touched the ball when he was at Burnley. It's going to be a very different kettle of fish. And remember at Besiktas this season, in 18 appearances, he's got 9 goals and 4 assists. So he comes into Manchester United in goal-scoring form. He comes into Manchester United having scored more domestic goals than any other player in our team. He scored 125 goals out of 126 from inside the box. He will be that pure number 9. And I didn't think that Manchester United were really going to be looking for a pure number 9. Remember, we had loads of conversations here on the live streams. Didn't mean to do that. Get rid of that circle there. Thank you very much. We had so many conversations about what we thought Ten Hag was looking for. But what Ten Hag has got here is a pure box number 9. Doesn't make any sense. A number 9 who just, the box is his home. It means that Shaw and Delone know that they're going to have an option in the middle for headers, crosses instead of just cutbacks. It means we're going to have an anchor to play a little bit more direct to, and he's capable of chesting it down and bringing others into play. He's also got the pressing part of his game. He's got the profile and the personality side of things. Honestly, as I've said to you before, if I was to try and do a video like this on João Felix, it would be a lot shorter. I would be exaggerating where and how he fits into the team because he doesn't fit as much as Weghorst fits for what we need in the short 6-month loan spell. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in a Manchester United shirt. I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of impact he can have. And as I said, if he can contribute somehow to between 10 and 15 goals, it'd be a cracking signing. And I think, just my gut instinct, I think if he really has a cracking 6-month loan spell, I think Ten Hag will want to make that a permanent deal and keep him here for a year or two, as well as signing another striker in the summer. Just my gut instinct, but let's see what Weghorst can do. You let me know what you think in the comments below. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And if we can get the deal done in time, we might see him against City. Imagine he scores 94th minute winner against City. That would be a way to introduce yourself to United fans.